What's up, everybody? Welcome back to TYT Sports. Jacque Slade in the building. You guys know the deal. You go over to Cousteau on the YouTube. He tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah.
Not just about basketball shoes anymore. He'll even go into, you were recently, before we get into NBA playoffs, LeBron being decent at the game of basketball, amongst some other players, just very decent. You also recently were on Twitter, on your soapbox, as you put it.
Yes.
I think this is extremely important to highlight because I think a lot of YouTube creators are feeling this burden, and it's good that you're speaking out about that. So I was really happy to see you on the Twitter going after the peoples.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people, I feel like they don't give the YouTube creators the credit they deserve.
Yeah.
And so I took an opportunity to kind of stand on my soapbox, wave a flag a little bit, and get some attention out there.
Well, actually, one of the things I mentioned on a recent clip, which was a couple days ago, because we were talking about with a very sad Bugs Bunny face. It all kind of fits the Looney Tunes theme of the day. We were talking about YouTube demonetization. We were talking about how they unfairly are deafening channels.
Right.
And some of these channels, I could be wrong, what I threw out there is I said, when I was speaking about your channel in general was, big subscriber base. But are you on a multi-channel network? Are you?
I am. I'm part of the Complex network, but it's a little different.
Right. So that's actually I didn't realize that. So I said it looks like Jacque's got the production quality of 20-person team. But I'm like, I don't think he has a 20-person team.
No, it's literally just me.
Right.
Like I do everything on my own. Yeah.
Just give yourself credit.
Just give myself credit. I'll just put my name 20 times. I'll make my own credits.
No, but that's by the way, that's why YouTube creators don't put credits because it would just we'd look so arrogant. We'd be like producer.
Yeah, cameraman,
writer,
graphics, editor, producer. Yeah, that'd be really bad.
We'd just be throwing inspiration. Maybe somebody else. Maybe.
Yeah.
I just thought that was great. So if you go over to Jacque's Twitter, you'll
see my rant.
You can see the rant, and then we're gonna get into some of the Instagram stuff you're doing at another point because I think that's also super awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Very experimental, and that's what's the beauty of YouTube and social media. And I think there's a lot of it, like a lot of mainstream networks, very narrow path.
Yeah, absolutely.
Make it a highway, man. We're gonna make it a highway. We need more highways.
Open it up. There's lots of opportunity there to grow.
Now on to the playoffs.
Oh gosh.
I'm not sure if you're familiar with 1948 basketball.
1948.
But the Baltimore Bullets, obviously the team I grew up loving, adoring in northern New Jersey.
I'm not familiar.
Well, it's relevant because this came out. Biggest comeback after halftime, 25 from the Cavs. The previous mark was 21. The Baltimore Bullets trailed the Philly Warriors 20-41 and won 66-63.
So none of those teams have the same name. Well, I guess technically the Washington Bullets and the Baltimore Bullets, that's still, that's the same thing.
They became the Wizards.
Phillies, the 76ers.
Right, then they,
and the Warriors are technically Golden State now. So that's interesting.
And just the cookie cutter of that roster, man. They also got, by the way, Converses, which I'm just wondering at what point we're gonna have, I mean, you can't ball in Converses anymore. But at what point do we think that was, we really thought, like as a society, we thought that was the right idea.
Thought that it was the best shoe out there.
Because it was better than like the sandal.
I think it was probably more of a traction play than it was a comfort play. It was like, I actually have traction in these. They have rubber at the bottom, and I'm not gonna slide all over the floor.
Right, just my ankles.
Yeah, your ankles, they have no support at all. No protection for your foot. Someone steps on your foot.
We've all been in the situation though. You're like, if you're down by the beach maybe, and basketball comes your way. It happens to be a hoop. You're not even there to play basketball. You just got sandals. You end up either playing barefoot, and you realize playing barefoot is better for your ankles than playing.
Playing in a pair of Chuck Taylors. Absolutely.
I agree.
Absolutely.
But on to LeBron. So this is not the LeBron pumping clip, but like the other thing I have to show people here is that. Nick Wright shared this from Fox Sports, and there's a big camp of people who just hate Nick Wright for the reason of hating Nick Wright.
Right.
Because he's very polarizing in his way of broadcasting his opinion.
Presenting information. He presents information in a very polarizing way.
Direct.
Yeah.
So, but he does, look, you have to give the guy credit when he's right. And in this case, he just wanted to leave a little tweet with this message saying, in a single game from 1984 to the present, these are the players in a single game with 28 points or more, 6 or more assists, 7 or more rebounds, and 0 turnovers.
Wow.
LeBron did that in the second half.
That's crazy.
So LeBron's second half was better than some of the greatest players all time's games.
We've been talking about this a lot on Twitter about people just, because LeBron is so good constantly, like we're almost numb to it. Like he's been pretty much good since he walked into the league. And people, I think, have kind of tuned it out like, oh, all right, cool,
we're just used to it.
Yeah, this is what LeBron's gonna do. Like LeBron has to do something extraordinarily bad or extraordinarily good. Even though, well, I can't even say extraordinarily good because obviously last night was crazy. Because like even like I think Love and Kyrie were on the bench for like the whole fourth quarter.
It was give me the ball, LeBron. Which, by the way, I like confident LeBron.
Right.
Because LeBron has so many like he has different elements of some of the best assets of the best players in the league.
Right.
Like we talk about the best passers and John Wall deserves a ton of credit for being a brilliant passer.
Absolutely.
LeBron's better at it. Or at times.
At times.
He makes
he
look, when he makes the cross-court pass, I just want to put this into perspective. I am not a strong human. I don't think that's been the adjective associated with my body.
Well, it depends.
Now, you go into a pickup game just for fun, and from the right side of the court behind the three-point line, you make a cross-body two-handed pass to the corner on the left corner.
Yeah.
You make that pass. Try doing it accurately first, because it's not going to happen, and then try doing it on a line. The amount of strength it takes to do that is mind-blowing.
It's just LeBron doesn't get the credit that he deserves. Like everyone knows, it's like everyone knows he's a great player.
Yes.
And so they kind of look past him. It's like all right, you're too good. Like we can't really give you like credit anymore for being good because you're already like really good.
So my fear is that, it's not really a fear, I don't know why I'd ever be afraid of this, but I'm gonna stick with it. My fear is, I think there's a lot of people who are just either waiting very patiently for LeBron to just do something very wrong. Right. Like make a mistake, and they want it to happen. And this is what I think is messed up is, you gotta live in the moment, right? It's something that like I didn't do when I was younger and learned as you get older.
Right.
Like you wanna live in the present, but for the most part in sports, which I find amazing is, we already want to find who's going to be the next best player in basketball.
Right, yeah.
I don't think we did this with Michael Jordan as much. Granted, I was young at that point that it was more like, oh my God, I've just never seen anybody do what this guy is doing at that time. And then LeBron comes around and it feels like we're just going to, because of in part social media, so many voices, we're going, you know what? I'm just waiting for Kawhi to be the next best player.
Yeah.
LeBron's 32 and threw down a tomahawk jam that I don't know if anybody except for LeBron James at 32-year-olds could do. Dwayne Wade got rejected by the rim.
Well, that's a different story.
And it's painful to watch that.
That's a totally different story.
I love Dwayne Wade.
I love Wade too.
They're the same year of, well, I mean, they're older, but same draft class.
Yeah.
Before I die of breath here.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think with there's so much minutia around sports these days. I probably shouldn't use that word.
It's a great word.
There's so much minutia around sports these days that people like have to find an angle. They have to find something to talk about. Back then with Jordan and like even with like Magic and Larry Bird, like if you go back and watch like Larry and Magic's clips on YouTube and see some of the stuff that they're doing, you're just like, oh my, like Lord, like they were so good, but the league wasn't like what it is today. Like,
right.
So it took like those guys, like they were the stepping stones. It was like Magic and Larry, and then it was like the Bad Boys, and then it was Jordan.
I'm weird. I love the Bad Boy Pistons.
Yeah, everyone, and you should. And then it was Jordan, and Jordan was like at the main point when the league really exploded, when it became a worldwide phenomenon, when it became bigger than just something that we watch here in the States, and it just allowed people to kind of come in. But now it's so big that everyone has an opinion on it. Everyone's talking about something, and so they look past LeBron to go, oh, okay, well, look what Curry's doing. Oh, look what Kyrie's doing. Look what Kawhi's doing. Look what Russell Westbrook's doing. Like this whole MVP talk, like it's great. Russell's been great. Harden has been great, but LeBron has been great.
I love the take that if like, and a lot of people have this. So I think Westbrook's the MVP. I also believe that James Harden and LeBron James are unbelievably great players who deserve it. But if I have a vote, I vote for Russell Westbrook. And people take that as you think James Harden's terrible.
Right. Oh yeah, absolutely. There's no middle ground, Mr. Rubin. Sorry.
Yes, I believe.
There's no middle ground. Either you believe within your heart and your soul that Westbrook is king,
and everybody else.
There can only be one king.
Serfs.
Everyone else, they're peasants and they work in the fields.
Yes.
You, sir, make your decision now, and then let forever hold your peace.
That's truthfully what I believe, though.
Yeah,
you know.
Got it.
That's what it is.
Makes sense.
Another news, and Raptors fans, this is for you guys. I saw this shirt yesterday, And so I guess I'll just fill Jacque in. Raptors fans think I hate the Raptors.
Do you hate the Raptors?
Let's
clear it up. Let's clear it up now. Listen, no. They think that, but do you?
It's not possible for me to hate the Raptors because I've actually never done a clip on like who are my favorite players because that's like it's too self-centered about me. But if I were to make that clip from the day I was born to like 2003, it was Vince Carter.
Got it.
And T-Mac was close, but then T-Mac was different T-Mac on the Raptors and he wasn't the Magic in the Raptors.
Right, he wasn't.
But Vince Carter was so he could have started a world war against France. He didn't, thank God. It's like very rude. Even the YouTube videos say Vince Carter's dunk over French guy.
They don't even use his name?
They don't even use his name. Which is
terrible.
Come on, guys. We've done enough to the French at this point. And then since like from like 2005 on, it's Jamal Crawford. And I think Jamal Crawford's his handles.
His handles are
I can't get over it.
Insane.
Also, I don't think he hits the gym, and I could relate to that.
There you go.
We're good friends like that.
Good friends like that. we relate. We're the same.
I've been wanting Jamal Crawford to come on this show and talk about why he is the greatest Knick of all time, but we're getting there. Hasn't happened yet.
Okay, let's work on that.
So I can't hate the Raptors. What I don't like watching the Raptors do is inconsistently live and die by their backcourt. I think Kyle Lowry's a great player. I think the reason they won Game 2 was because of Kyle Lowry. I think the reason they lost games 1 and 3 was also because of Lowry and DeRozan. And I said this, if you look at their backcourt on a box score, and you don't show me the score, I can tell you if they lost the game or won the game based on just 2 players. Now, no credit where no credit is due, Ibaka decided to play the worst game he's played in 5 years after playing one of the best games he's played in 5 years, and they don't have the help. I don't think the talent of the team is that of the quality that's gonna possibly get them back to the Eastern Conference Finals. I think last year was a good run, but they've never convincingly beat anybody with this team. 7 games against the Heat. Yep, 7 games against the Pacers, and then 6 against and a loss, but 6 against the Cavs, and that was impressive that they won 2 last year against the Cavs.
It's a tough thing for Lowry and DeRozan. I think they're obviously not the only players on the team, but they carry the weight. Like the weight of the Raptors is on their shoulders, which is unfortunate because if they have a bad game, like DeRozan had a bad game, then that's there goes the game. And there needs to be someone there that can step up to step in that gap at least a little bit. And it doesn't seem like they rely on him. But that's the problem when there's like 2 really good players. Like I don't want to say superstars. Like Kobe and Shaq are like 2 superstars, and they can kind of make up for it. But like DeRozan and Lowry, they're 2 really great players.
Yes.
They're not. I guess I don't see them as superstars quite yet. As much as I love DeRozan and his LA roots.
Yeah, he's a USC guy, no?
Yeah, and he grew up in Compton.
And he's a LA guy. Yeah. Oh, okay.
So it's a tough thing for those 2. But I think if they keep fighting, maybe they'll keep
no. So here's the thing. Like, here's what I know for a fact, and I promise this will happen. DeRozan's going to score like 38 points in Game 4.
Yes.
Like he will be 12 of 18, and get to the foul line and do his damage, and they're going to win that game. And it's going to be 2-2 going back to Toronto. I think. Look, I said the Bucks in 7 because I think what Jason Kidd's doing with that team is actually about a year or 2 ahead of where it needs to be now to win right now. I mean, not win right now, but make a run right now.
Yeah, you don't expect them to be where they are right now. Like they're definitely unique in the position that they are in. Jason Kidd's been doing a great job, and I think people don't give him enough credit for what he's doing with this team.
Yeah, he's a savage. Like people forgot that Jason Kidd was never the nice. Like he's an enforcer for a little point guard that played for a long time. He was not the guy you wanted to be on bad terms with. So I think he's bringing a lot of that culture, personality to the Bucks.
And that energy.
How do you know that? Giannis is blocking shots up 30 points with his elbow.
Right.
Because his elbow is where normal people's hands are.
It's literally like way down here when he hit the ball.
Absurd. So I mean, look, we were discussing before too. Great shoe though, 0 for 8, 2 rebounds, no assists, a couple turnovers, 8 points all from the free throw line, 0 for 5 from 3. Great pair of shoes.
Great pair of shoes. This is not the time for DeRozan to have bad games. Like,
no, it can't be.
Save those for early in the season. Get that out of your system.
Yeah, and through the first 15 games, DeRozan was actually on Michael Jordan like the first 15 games were of Michael Jordan's 94-95 season, I believe, or 95-96 season.
Mm-hmm.
Not of when he was playing baseball. That I promise you.
Right,
Definitely wasn't
not the big.
And people were like, that's the most absurd statement. I go, no, it's statistically true. That's why I'm saying it. What do you think? I'm just like, yeah, Michael Jordan and DeMar DeRozan are the same player. Oh,
well,
God.
I mean, someone has to twist your words, Jason. Someone has to do it, and that's what the comments are.
I love all my Raptors fans. I love all of them. I love all my commenters. I do. Deep love for them.
Deep love, passion. Love.
Do you love your commenters?
I do. Even the ones that say mean
that
things.
Don't love you.
That don't love me. Yes, that's a good way to put it. The ones that don't love me.
At Cousteau on Twitter, on Instagram, on Snapchat, on
all that stuff.
YouTube. Yeah, you guys know.
It's all the same everywhere. It's all the same everywhere.
It's everywhere.